All right, folks, what is going on? Back with another video, and today we're going to talk about Nvidia or Nvidia, however you want to pronounce it. DLSS 5. It has been released, it's been showcased, and a lot of people are talking about it. A lot of people call it slop, a lot of people call it crazy, call it some of the enhancements that it do to artwork is egregious, and I kind of agree with that. But this is not about just about how bad or some people may think it's good this tech is. The main issue is tech versus art. This is going to be a really big deal in the coming months and years when it comes to this technology. And I want to get my thoughts and opinions about that. So if this is your first time here, welcome. I talk about gaming and everything under the umbrella. I appreciate everybody who's been subbing to the channel. We are now over 1,000 subs. It is all thanks to you guys. Let's go ahead and get into this really quick. Look, there's a lot of games that have artwork, and the artwork that's in those games, it gives it a defined look, an aesthetic, something about the game that makes it unique from others. And this is something that has to be the forefront in a lot of games. Well, Nvidia or Nvidia, however you wanted to call it, because a lot of people say it different. Some people say I did say it wrong, but it is what it is. Well, the DLSS 5 situation is causing a little bit of uproar because it's taking away that artwork or it's taking away that aesthetic of the artwork away from what the game is intended. Now, everybody have seen the actual picture of Claire from Resident Evil Requiem, and you saw the side by side comparisons. And a lot of people are saying that the artwork looks great, but when you put the AI generative, DLSS over it, it looks like a plastic doll. And you saw with Hogwarts Legacy and all the other games, Starfield, all the other games that they're doing this with. And I tend to agree that it does take away from the game to the point where it seems like every game is made by the same engine because of this, this overshadow or this over image or this over AI pixel, whatever you want to call it, over the game. And it does look like it's like a one size fit all for every game, and there's no differentiation or any uniqueness when it comes to a game now because of this. And now a lot of people are on X or they're on other platforms saying that, hey, this is great tech. This is the way it should be, and you should, accept it as it is. This is the way of the future. Well, some people who actually do artwork are like, hey, this is like messing up the artwork. The lighting is jacked up. Some of the stuff is bloomed out where it is too much lighting, too much detail to certain things. Where characters who had a definitive look about their age or whatever, they look older, or it's kind of like of a mess. Now, where I come from when it comes to this, I feel that art trumps everything. I love when people put their own hard work into their craft and actually put artwork together to make things happen wherever it comes from in video games. This is what makes games great. When you even go all the way back to pixel art up until now, these games always have their distinct look. You look at games all the way going back to Mario with the pixel art there, all the way up to the Genesis and the NES Mario up to the Genesis, and you go to the Saturn and you go to PlayStation and you see how a lot of those things done with some form of artwork that was hand drawn by someone. It makes it a beautiful thing. It makes those games stand out because everybody has their own uniqueness. No, not too many people can draw the same. But the thing about this DLSS 5, it just looks like it overshadows someone's artwork and everything looks the same. This technology, which I think it could be really good in some cases, which I feel like personally, I think these companies need to use very little of this or none at all. And it could be used in certain ways that actually will enhance like certain backgrounds, or it can enhance certain things that's on the screen. But when you have something like a person or another living image that we are known to see, like the artwork that kind of, is definitive in a sense, you don't want to put this on something like that because then you would kind of get away from what the intentions were, whoever drew that picture. Or even if you're not even drawing it by hand, there's still something distinct about it, the way that somebody does certain, art. When if they would use their computer or their laptop to draw certain things, it's always a distinct side of what they're putting together. And unfortunately, AI is never going to catch that. I mean, that's one thing about AI. AI needs us to so it can regurgitate whatever that it needs to spit back out. There's already a lawsuit right now by Nvidia or Nvidia, whatever you want to call it, where they are being sued for taking copyrighted material. And they need that copyrighted material to spit it back out to us so their AI would work. So this is a really big deal when it comes to the tech side versus the art side. I get it. You got people who are very invested in this, high rollers, people who are in the invested in this, big money people want this tech to flourish because a lot of these companies have banked a lot of money, a lot of time and investment into this whole thing with AI, where you got the regular guy that or regular girl who's out here just drawing stuff and do great, fantastic drawings that can rarely ever be replicated. They're putting their talent out there, and that is some of the most beautiful work of human work that you could actually get. Someone's artwork, somebody who can sing, people who can put things together by hand you can't beat that. It doesn't matter what AI can do. At some point, they're going to need us to regurgitate whatever that they want to put out there to the world. Can it be more efficient? Yes, absolutely. It can be more efficient as far as like dropping something out like that in the snap of a finger. But what the quality is going to be like? Because now you look at the quality of DLSS 5, and it's just not there. It looks really bad, to be honest. I don't like the way some of this stuff look, and I think just to be a little bit fair about this, I will say that DLSS will probably work on a game like a racing game. I can see it working on something like a car, or if you're looking or the road that the car is driving on, like a Forza or a Need for Speed or what's the other game, a Gran Turismo, or any of those other racing games. I think this type of stuff will work great because the detail will be there. But when it comes to having humans or human life or other living things that just would be defined in a way that's not depicted as what the art or the creator will want, I think that's where the problem will be at. So if you're making a game where vehicles involved, other things that are in the background, I think it does have a purpose there. But when you start looking at other things like stuff that it makes it look unrealistic, I think that's where you have the problem. I think you can still make a vehicle in a video game look really good with this technology, and it won't look crazy like. But when you have a human or you have somebody that depicts a human, it could look crazy. We just saw the pictures of it, in a lot of these games that they're doing this for. But I just feel like at the end of the day, it's going to be tech versus art, and I think the art should prevail. There's nothing like watching somebody put something together and put it out on a video game, and the aesthetic of the artwork is just absolutely phenomenal. I don't think any of this AI stuff will be able to replicate that to that extent. And I hopefully I'm right. I know AI is going to get better at some point, but I don't know how much better. You like I said, you're looking at a situation where could it get that good as a human? A lot of people say yes, but I think the majority is like no. At the end of the day, this is a man-made object, and I know we have these fears or whatever that it can take over humans, which I'm not gonna get into that. But when you start looking at stuff like that, then you start to see that um I think just the human nature of things is just going to be what it is. It's going to trump all. So at the end of the day, I feel like this is going to be a battle for the next few months. It really is. It's going to be some probably even years, and we'll see how it all plays out. I think it's going to be a really interesting battle, and I'm going to be here for it. And yeah. So let me know what you guys think. Do you guys are you into DLSS 5? Are you into humans doing their own artwork for these video games? Do you want AI to start and do their own thing with these video games? I think if AI start getting in video games, we're gonna have a really big problem. Because like I said, they can use it for the artwork for other inanimate objects. And also, I think AI, which I don't think this is an Nvidia thing. I think that AI could be used for difficulty in gaming, especially in sports. But I'll talk about that another time. I'm going to get up out of here. And y'all take it easy and y'all be blessed. Peace.